How are you all doing? Great to see you all. Come around here and be great. Alrighty, good evening. I'm Joe Nolan, the CEO and President of Eversource. I want to thank you all for coming here today to talk a little bit about Henri. Henri is still barreling at a high rate of speed towards Connecticut. We're seeing it on the coastline, tracking towards the Madison area. Will be a devastating storm. We've changed the category to a Category 2. Category 2 storm in the state is roughly between 650 and 850,000 customers without power. It can be for a period of time anywhere from 8 to 21 days. Devastating. We have put out requests, and they have been fulfilled for over 4,000 crews from around the country. They're coming from states Texas, Oklahoma, Florida, Tennessee, Canada, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia. The storm is expected to hit in the morning hours. It will be a protracted event. It should linger over us for a longer period of time than any of us would like. I will tell you that we have amassed resources here in Connecticut like we have never done for any other storm. And I can promise you that our customers will get their power back on as quickly as is safely possible given the current circumstances. But I want to let everyone know that this will be a devastating storm with significant infrastructure damage, which is going to require a lot of attention. I want to caution everybody to, number one, to look out for their neighbor. If they're elderly, if they're senior citizens, check in on them. Prepare for this. Flashlights, batteries, water, enough fuel, food to be able to get you through for a period of, say, 3, 4, 5 days. And we just ask all of our customers to be patient, that our workers are going to do everything they can to get the power on as fast as possible in the safest manner possible. We expect very high winds in excess of 50 miles an hour, 50 to 70 miles an hour, which will be coming across there, which is going to bring serious, serious damage. We look at models for weather forecasting models, everything from the National Hurricane Center to DTM, Storm Geo, the Yukon prediction model. All of these models are telling us that Connecticut is right in the middle of this storm. So with that, I'm so grateful. I'm joined here by First Selectman Brule in his community, Mayor Passaro, Senator Needleman, and Senator Formica. I'm going to open up. I'm going to let the First Selectman have a little, say a few words. I'll be available for comments. Please step right up. Thank you very much, Selectman.
Great, thank you. Thank you for all being here today in Waterford. We're making a continual effort regionally, working with Eversource. The communication's been outstanding. We're working right now all day, having evacuation routes in place in the town of Waterford. Voluntary evacuations are in place. We're taking the storm serious, as Eversource is. And tonight, I'm proud that we have a united front, and that we're taking this on all together as a group. So with that, I'll hand this over to my confidant over here in New London, Mayor Passaro. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. New London is very prepared for this storm. We're prepared for the worst effects of it. Our shelter is open, and we are reaching out to anybody who will be impacted by power outage or tidal flooding or stormwater flooding. So we've canvassed our city, and we're feeling very prepared for this. Tested our hurricane pumps down on Bank Street, and we brought in extra staff for the fire department and the police department. Public Works is staffed up, so we'll be fully operational all day tomorrow. Our EOC will open probably about 5 in the morning. So thank you, and I'll turn it over.
Needleman?
Yes.
Thank you, Mike. I'm Senator Needleman. I'm the chair of the Energy and Technology Committee and a First Selectman of Essex. So I want to reiterate what Joe said. This is a very serious storm. What my colleagues, leaders of municipalities have said, this is a very serious event. It's as bad or worse than anything we've seen in a long time. People need to be prepared. People need to be safe. If you're staying in your houses and you're near trees or your trees around you, please stay in a part of the house where the tree is not likely to hurt you. There will be a lot of downed trees. Putting my Senate hat on for a minute, I do want to speak to the fact that there was some concern last year, a lot of concern with how the company reacted to ECS, and this year I'm here, and I think Senator Formica is here because we've been part of the companies upgrading their capacity and being more responsive. Communication, assets, they're all being improved as we speak. There's going to be a real-time test for that, but I want to reiterate again what Joe said. People will need patience here. If you think that it's going to be over in 3 or 4 days, it will not be. There will be a lot of outages for a long time, and most important, we want to keep everybody safe, and we want to understand that everybody's putting their best foot forward, the utilities as well as the municipalities as well as the state. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Senator Formica.
Thank you, Senator Nolan. Good afternoon. We're talking about safety, and we're talking about a significant event. Many of us have been up here, been critical of the response time from Eversource over the past few storms. We've been assured that there's better communication on this storm coming up with both the mayors and first selectmen of all the towns. They're reaching out to them, and also communication with the residents and the ratepayers down the road. That's the most important thing. I'm here today to make sure that lines of communication are open. I've reached out to all my mayors and first selectmen in the 20th district and offered any resource that we can get and I can be a part of with the state. But that being said, as a first selectman that's gone through 2 storms about 10 years ago, I understand the difficulties. Stay in place while the storm is active. Do not run your generators inside your house or garage. Don't touch any live wires. Don't touch any trees that might contain live wires. Be patient and wait for the people to come that are going to clear the roads. Mr. Nolan has said that every town is going to be given a made safe crew and a liaison. Let them do the work jointly with the Public Works Department of all the great towns. These great mayors and first selectmen around me have this under control, but it's going to take some time. So be patient and let's get through this safely, and we'll work through it and get the problem solved as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We'll open it up to any questions you might have.
Hearing about preparedness and what Eversource is doing now, can you kind of run us down, kind of more specifically, what people can expect to see, what the company is doing this time around, so that people at home know what resources are in place to make sure that their health is getting better?
Sure. So the question was, what are we doing now that to assure our customers that we're doing everything we can to prepare for this event? If anyone has been out on the roads, you should have seen a significant presence of utility vehicles coming into the area. There's a receiving center in Danbury that several hundred trucks are coming and being received. Up at Rensselaer Field, you'll see some portable dorms that are put up there, actually sleeping trailers, hold 1,000 people. You'll see the same thing down at Foxwoods. There's a setup down there. And there'll be another staging area, and the concern right now on the shorefront, there'll be actually a few of them, is to allow the storm to pass. We do not want to have equipment in the area and have surges, which is going to flood the area. So we have significant presence. The fact that we've been able to get commitments around 4,000 crews is significant. We did have some crews that were coming actually from a New Jersey utility that at the last minute had to pull back because the storm, as you know, the storm is moving. It's got a lot of twists and turns, but we were able to go and augment those crews and get others. So I think that everybody will see a very, very different response this time. I also want to tell you that every community will have a line truck in it to get any block roads, any wires down, and that's why I ask everyone to please stay away from down wires. The communities have a portal. They can communicate with us electronically. They tell us their priorities. What public safety, what hospitals, what police, what fire. They tell us the priorities, that's what we respond to. So I think you'll see a very different response. We also have a public safety. We have 2 folks in every community along with the truck to be able to go out there and respond. So you'll see a very different response.
And perhaps a question for either one of our mayor, one of our selectmen, whoever wants to tackle this. We're seeing recommended evacuations, mandatory evacuations. We've seen with others, or not here in Connecticut, but places like Texas, like Florida, where people have opted to stay in their homes. One of you tackled very much the severity of this, the importance of listening to those orders, recommended in some of that list?
I can definitely start because that's been the focus of the town of Waterford through the beginning of this. When we saw that the storm was coming, it was pretty much going to take a direct hit on New London and Waterford in that area. So days ago, we were starting to get prepared. The Red Cross opened up the center, the regional center today at 6 o'clock, so it's open. We went around house to house with police officers and firemen today, making sure that people could get there and get out, making sure that they had the notification that, hey, we're open. If you need to evacuate, do it now before the storm starts. We are providing transportation for families because we do have a lot of floodplains and low-lying areas in the town of Waterford. So we are taking it serious, and we are going to make sure that we're in it for the long term as well.
And what's the status of Waterford? Are there recommended evacuations?
It's recommended evacuation. We have an area.
What percent of your residents that are maybe like moving on?
Well, we have to keep an eye on them. They have the right to stay, and we have a duty to make sure we're there to help them. So thank you for that.
New London has a few areas that are prone for flooding, but those areas that we've identified, we are contacting each of those households individually. We're offering them whatever services they want. The choice will be up to them, but we're explaining the consequences, and at some point in every storm, the ability for emergency crews to get to people is limited, especially once the wind reaches a certain area. So we'll be explaining that to people, and we have opened a shelter in New London for people that wish to evacuate their low-lying homes.
Question for Eversource. This was mentioned a little bit, but I know outages are anticipated. So about how long should you say that customers should prepare to be without power if their area is along the line of the storm?
You know, yesterday I thought it was 3 or 4 days of provisions, and I just said today 5. But you know, in thinking about it and thinking about this storm, you know, I think you should prepare for 7 days of outage, and it's just not relenting. So it's not relenting. You know, I was going to introduce the state representative from the area there, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Representative McCarty representing Waterford. And I would just like to thank our town and Eversource and everyone who's played a very critical role right now in getting the information out to our constituents. And I've lived through a few hurricanes already in my lifetime. I live down near the shoreline. I'm telling people to please take this very seriously. Take all the necessary precautions that you possibly can to stay safe. It's so important. And I thank everyone for all the information that has been sent out already. Thank you.
Any other questions? Great. Well, it looks like we'll be seeing an awful lot of all of you. I want to thank you for coming out here today and seeing us, and have a safe night. All right. Thank you. Representative Joe Nolan, thank you so much for coming.
And I got a call about it was outside, so I rushed.